I'm really glad to see you. We are here because we know that in addition to the new projects about musicals and films, now you also wish to become an entrepreneur in the wine field. Why have you invested your money in wine in Italy?
Mostly because I love Vino Rosso and especially the wines of Italy. I've grown very, very fond of first the wines of Tuscany, then the wines of Puglia, and everything in between, because Italy has so many sections, different sections, and what endeared me was each region in Italy has its own local wines. So I've been living in Milano, as we are here right now, but I've also been living in Puglia, and I've grown very much in love with the area of Puglia, and especially the wines. So I wanted to have my own version of a Primitivo, and it happens to be Primitivo from Manduria, from the Manduria section, and it's outstanding. I'm very, very proud of it.
Why in Manduria and not in a different place?
Because I was living down in that area for on and off for 6 mesi, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the richness and the heaviness of the Primitivo from Manduria. So that out of many, many tastings, and we spent a long time deciding what combinations of grapes to put into this new wine of mine called Moss. It's just called Moss wine. And with the time we spent, it wound up being that area. That's the one that captured me the most.
How are you going to develop your business in wine? In which way?
We're getting more and more restaurants to feature our wines. And I'm starting with one wine right now, but it will eventually turn into a rosé and a sparkling champagne and all that too. But right now we're sticking with the Primitivo. A lot of different restaurants are taking it on, and we're slowly building it up by word of mouth, by people loving it, and that's the way I feel we should do it.
Are you going to export your wine to the USA?
Eventually, yes. But right now, I think Europe is the easiest to distribute. Right now, we'll worry about the distribution because you add so many extra costs to that. So we have to figure that out. That's down the road a few days.
Trump is fighting a trade war about import, export into and from the USA. What's your opinion about?
Yes, what I think needs to happen more, I believe that he is right. We have to have more of an equality of the tariffs and the taxes that each country imposes on the other. It has to be balanced, and it has not been balanced for a long, long time. So I very much agree with what our President Trump is doing with making things more equal.
What can you tell us about your tour?
I started it 6 months ago here in Italy. And before that, I was in Australia for a month, and we've gone to Belgium, we've gone to Estonia, but it's all part of this, my first world tour for music. But the majority, the beast of the amounts is in Italy. And I've been everywhere in Italy, almost everywhere. The only place we haven't been was Napoli, Roma, and that's about it. I've been to every place in Italy, north to south, east and west, and everywhere in between. And it's been great. So we're coming back in December, actually, to do a series of symphony concerts with a big orchestra, a 50-piece orchestra, with our friend Antonio Palazzo. He's the maestro for the orchestra, and together with my band, the Men in Black, we call them, we're going to do a very interesting and very unique concert that people will be very surprised about, because they don't know me as a singer. They don't know me as a musician. They think I just started as that character Ridge on The Bold and the Beautiful. So this is going to be a big surprise for a lot of people.
Are you going to buy a house in Italy?
We've been looking at the idea of that. We want to sell our house in the United States first.
Where are you living now?
In just north of Los Angeles.
Okay.
And that's where we go back to tomorrow. But we come back in December for these concerts.
You started making music with the band The Players. Then you left music to become an actor. Where are you tired of making music?
Not at all. Not at all. It just worked out where that particular band wasn't touring anymore. We weren't making records anymore. Our record companies had fallen apart. And so I decided to take the advice of Robert Stigwood, who owned our record company, our first record company, Robert Stigwood Organization. He suggested that I try acting. So I decided to give it a try. And after all those years of music, since I was 11 years old, music the whole time. And with Player, we had a lot of success, a lot of great tours. But I decided to see what the acting movie business would be, because I love movies. And so I gave it a try. And I had nothing, and I had to work my way up from nothing. And finally, one day, this new show called Beautiful, as you know it in Italy, came along. And there we go. But I never really stopped the music. In fact, I continued on after that, and now I have what's called Ron Moss's Player. It's my version of that group that's no longer around.
You seem to feel better as a musician than as an actor. Do you?
No, it just seems that way. If I'm doing music, people say that. If I'm doing movies, they think I'm more of an actor than the musician. So it's all in what hat you wear, and I'm wearing both. I'm wearing 3 hats, actually, because we're producing our own movies as well.
You interpreted the role of Ridge for 25 years. What did you remember about that great experience?
It was great. It was great, and I'll always remember it as being an amazing transformation for me, and it allowed me to see more of the world than I had seen before. Being here now is because I was able to visit Italy many years ago, not for Beautiful, for something else. I wasn't even on Beautiful when I first came to Italy, but it allowed me to see other places in the world as well as Italy. And it gave me a chance to do that craft, of acting every day. And for an actor, that's an amazing thing. Just like the music, doing that every day as well. So now what has changed for me being away from Beautiful is the ability to do more creative things for me. And I'm very happy being able to do that. It's been a wonderful, not an easy change, but it's been a great change in my life, because I'm doing things that scared me before. I'm challenging myself in ways I did not do before.
After 50, people usually start to take stock of their life. What about you?
For me, what has happened is I'm much more aware as I get older and I continue on these other paths of creativity and day-to-day life. I'm much more in gratitude. I'm much more aware of gratitude, and there are no coincidences, and things happen for reasons, and I'm becoming more aware of the things around me and the things that happen. But I live my life every day being very much in gratitude for every day and every moment that we have. And I think that's very important. I think you live by the law of attraction. You know what that means? What you think about, what you attract into your life, good things. And now, what I want to do is expand on that creativity to do more of the movie projects that we're planning. We're planning one for next year in Italy, to film in Puglia. It's a very nice romantic comedy. I will continue also with the music and expand that. Now we're going to do the orchestral side of that and add that to the rock and roll.
I'm really curious, and I would like to know something more about your new film.
The film is it's a concept that myself and my dear friend Tiziano Cavalieri came up with. We, on a road trip, many road trips back and forth from northern Italy to southern Italy and all, we came up with this idea for a cute movie, romantic comedy, to be filmed in Puglia. And it's very cute. It's about an American me who comes and buys a Truly in Fasano, let's say. And he gets there and there is no Truly. It's been a bit of a scam. So he has to now go out and find out who was all involved, and subsequently he falls in love with the sister of this family, and it becomes very, very cute. What we're doing is we're going to film in English and Pugliese.
Yeah.
So all the actors, other than me, are Pugliese, which is cute because we may have to have subtitles for the Pugliese for the Italians, because Pugliese is sometimes
So
difficult.
The title?
The title is Surprise Trip.
Wow.
Surprise Trip. What is that? How is that in Italian?
Viaggio a sorpresa.
When is the movie coming out?
We're planning to film this coming summer, in 2020. And so we're hoping to have it out by Christmas, I would like, yeah. I can't promise, but that's what we're hoping.
Which are the three most important films in your life in order of importance?
Not a question I've ever been asked before. I will pick the first one as A Lion in Winter. That's Lion, like R. A Lion in Winter. It was with Peter O'Toole and Katharine Hepburn. It was the story of Henry IV in England. And Catherine of I'm blanking out here. Anyway, Henry IV. And let's see, what would be another movie? Raising Arizona was a big one for me.
Yeah.
That's a movie by the Coen brothers. They directed and wrote that, Coen brothers. What would be a third one? A third one, I think, would be one called, it's a movie, a cute comedy about a dog show. Christopher Guest was the writer and director. Best in Show. It's called Best in Show. And for me, that is a premium comedy movie. It's done very subtly, but it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So, but thank you for asking a question I've never been asked before.
What have you learned about life that you didn't know when you were 20?
A lot. A lot. Again, we go back to gratitude. Gratitude and trying to be positive in everything you do. Trying to impart that positivity to other people. Being a positive influence on this crazy-ass world that we live in. It seems like it's getting crazier every day, but we have to put out our little bit of positivity and creativeness.
What are your favorite activities during your spare time?
There wasn't a lot of spare time, but mostly just experiencing Italy. I'd never had the chance to really be here for a long time to experience the culture of Italians in Italy. And we've been here for 6 months now in a row, which is unusual. I would always come to Italy, have to do my work, and then leave. And I never really had a chance to really feel it. And this time I fell in love with Italy. That's why we're planning on coming back as much as we can.
What is the craziest thing you have done for love?
Craziest?
Yeah.
Getting married.
The first or second time?
Yeah, second, yes. After a very bad marriage, I had swore I would never get married again. It was off my radar. I didn't want to ever do that. But then this amazing woman, Devon, came into my life, and I changed all that for her and for me. And so for me, that's crazy.
What are some ways to win a woman's heart?
I can't even get into that. I'm not into charming women for any particular reason anymore. I'm very happily married, and let's leave it at that. It's not even an issue now. I can't give advice. I'm not the one to give advice to men for anything. I don't know it all, and I don't claim to know it all, and I certainly don't claim to know women. So let's leave it there.
Okay.
Do you have a long cherished dream that you still have to realize?
Yes, many. Creative dreams. Doing my own movies. Doing my own music. Putting my own music to my own movies. For me, visual is very important. It's a great way to teach. It's a great way to let people see things they haven't seen before. And for me, it's a great way to express myself. So I have a dream of world peace, if I can go to the cliche of that. I have a dream of exposing some of the atrocities in the world so we can maybe make people more aware to stop some suffering that's going on in the world. That's another subject to get into, not right now. So I have an idea just to do something that's creative and inspiring. That's a dream.
What did you like about yourself?
You mean, what do I like about myself?
Like about yourself?
I like a lot about myself, but not in an egotistical way, more in a spiritual way of my awareness of things. Since I was a little kid, I've always been very spiritually aware and very sensitive to the vibrations around me and the dynamics around me. I like that because I think it gives me an awareness, it gives me a view of things that's a bit different. I'm not by any means perfect at all, and as time goes on, I realized how imperfect I am and how imperfect I have been. But everybody has that quality as well, and everybody has to overcome those imperfections and deal with them. I'm no different. So I like a lot. I know there's a phrase, you have to like yourself before you can like other people. You have to love yourself before you can love other people. I believe that to be true. And it doesn't mean a self-love, an egotistical love, like I said before. It's just loving the way you are with your faults and your physical good and bad, of everything. You can still love yourself and be imperfect. So that's what I would impart to people. Do that and you will like yourself more. Give yourself permission to be okay with yourself.
What is your best quality and what's your worst fault?
Patience. Patience. I have a lot of patience, sometimes too much. Too much patience with bullshit stuff. Sometimes I tolerate bullshit too much, if I can say that, which I just did. But as I get older, I'm having less and less patience with bullshit around me. But I try to deal with it in a positive way. And what was the second part you asked? What was the thing I found?
Your worst fault.
My worst fault? Yeah. I see a lot of negative stuff in the world, and I want to solve it all, and I can't. And I feel like I'm falling short of accomplishing that, and it's difficult. It's difficult. I get disappointed because I can't cure cancer. I can't solve world peace. I can't do those things, but maybe a little bit at a time I can do my part to in my little sphere of consciousness, my sphere of people, to help the world in a little way.
We are getting to the end of our interview. What's your best memory?
Of any time in my life or anything?
In your entire life.
There was a time when things were simpler, when I would just, let's say, ride horses every day with my mother. It was a chance for me and my mother to just have some time together, and she was a avid equestrian. She loved horses. So it was a time that she and I could share that together with horses. That was a great time. Being in rock and roll was a great time. Starting out and being able to actually perform in front of tens of thousands of people, our own music, was a great time. Touring around doing that. Being on Beautiful, I had a second family with the cast and crew of Beautiful that saved me a lot of times from some hard things that were going on in my life. I depended on that family to get me through it, and they did. So every section of my life, and now it's me and Devin and our two girls, and it's another avenue, it's another life, a new beginning, always new beginnings. So I've had many. I can only say a few because we only have time for that.
Did you used to have stronger feelings for your mother or for your father?
Probably with my mother, because she was more. My father was working a lot. He was kind of a workaholic, as they call it, which helped support our family. That's what he felt he needed to do. But my mother was with us more, me specifically. I was the youngest. So I'd say more of a connection that way, but I learned a lot from my father too. Even if it was negative things of what not to do, that's also a learning experience. So, but yeah, there we go.
Finally, will you say something to the Italians?
Oh, I think I've just told quite a lot just now. I probably told them a lot of things they didn't know already. Just that I have fallen in love with Italy and Italians and the way of life here. And I wish we had more of this in the United States, because in the States everybody is just work, 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 work all the time. And they don't take the time to really enjoy life. And I value that, and I will take that back with me and do that from now on, because I think it's very valuable. Obviously, you guys appreciate great food, natural food, which I very much appreciate. And I've learned a lot about enjoying life and taking the time for life. You don't have to rush through life to accomplish and get as much money and stuff as you can. Enjoy it while you're here, every moment. So I take that from my experience in Italy, and I thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ciao.
Ciao.